You know, when she came up to you, you know, trying to neuter you, you know, she just couldn't understand, like, what? I mean, the men with guns, and you should have just looked at her and given her a wink, you know. That's how we do it, you know.
Exactly. That's how it is, baby. That's how we roll.
Exactly. Thank you, Mr. Jones. You should have said, man, you know, we're actually here to defend the president against assassination from these crazed healthcare maniacs who are just finding out what's going on.
To be honest with you, I definitely wasn't there to do that, but
that's what I would have said. I would have said you should have put that one more in there. You know, we're not here just to, you know, solely, you know, exhibit, you know, our rights of open carry, you know, this and that, exercise them. You should have been like, well, we're here to defend Obama against, you know,
Well, listen, I will say this. I would defend Obama because he's a puppet. He's an actor for foreign banks, just like Bush and everybody else before him, back to Kennedy. And so if anything ever happens to him, they're going to use it against the Second Amendment. But that's a great point. That's why we are all armed, is to keep the peace. And you have a lot of folks attacking the Tea Party people, and it would have been Chris's right to defend himself if somebody came after him with a meat cleaver or something.
Exactly. Of course. And I mean, and there's no way that we're going to progress, you know, forward freely unless we stick to our codes that we have written for us. You know, they're so important. We have to do that, you know.
All right, Jake, I'm gonna let you go. Okay, let's go ahead and talk to Richard in Nebraska. Richard, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Last night on the Daily Show at 7 p.m. Viewing, they made a comment, and besides Keith Olbermann as well, but I thought it was rather insulting when they commented on about the health care bill, and then they said, "Oh, and then the way he phrased it was these people also showed up with rifles and everything around there," and then he gives you a strange look in the camera and says, "Now what the so and so are these people doing with rifles at this event and everything?" And like he makes you try and believe it's two different things, but in actuality, you like that health care bill.
See, this is the guilt by association. They use this Von Brunn, had been in federal custody, probably a staged deal, to then connect it to the Second Amendment. They just ran in here. CNN is attacking Chris right now. We've got him here on air. We're going to go into overdrive today with him because this is so important. We're going to continue with your phone calls. Richard, Jerry, Jenny, and others. Infowars.com.
Direct to you and in your face. You're listening to the Alex Jones Broadcasting Network.
A few times, Chris has sounded distracted. He's getting so many text messages from his friends hearing him on the show that it's like my phone. When a text comes in, it goes, doot, and then pops up and kind of distracts you. So that's going on. Kind of like call waiting when somebody calls you and then it like cuts out for 2 seconds. That happens a lot with callers when they call in. We're going to do 10 minutes of overdrive so I can finish up with Chris because this is so important. Then we go back into rebroadcast. But the overdrive won't be on the AM and FM dial. It'll only be on the streams at Infowars.com and on the podcast we send out as well. Let's jam in 3 calls that are on the Genesis board before we end the official show. By the way, CNN going to break. The guy saw it on screen. The text tweet questions. Aren't these town hall people terrorists? Shouldn't they be arrested? Coming back, CNN will discuss it. So there's the good news of coming out with our guns and saying, look, our guns aren't illegal. And breaking that image that guns are illegal, because people think they're already illegal. We've got to stop that or it's over. But then they're also hyping it and using it to scare everybody. We'll talk about that with Chris in Overdrive. Let's talk to Jerry in Indiana. You're on the air with Chris.
God bless you, Alex.
Welcome.
Appreciate what you're doing. And Chris, thank you for standing up for liberty in this country. If I could just throw this out here real quick. Here's the hypocrisy of the New World elite. See, Bill and Hillary Clinton, I called their office when Clinton come out against a gun ban in 1993. See, they're not really against guns. These criminals these Bilderbergs, these elite, they tell half-truths. If they were against guns, they wouldn't have their arm protection 24/7.
Well, of course, they're against our guns.
Absolutely. They're against poor people owning weapons. If you're a rich, elitist, Bilderberg, CFR, trilateralist, hey, they've got enough money to hire in, what's the group that went to
Well, it
Iraq
came out that Sarah Blackwater.
Blackwater.
It came out that Sarah Brady owns guns, has bodyguards, Chucky Schumer does, all these elitists do. What did Obama say in that closed meeting? He said these are bitter clingers, and all they've got left is their Bible and their gun. They've lost their farm, they've lost their house, but they've still got that they're a free person who at least has a right to defend themselves. And they want us to be like Venezuela or North Korea or someplace or Nicaragua where they can really push us around. And of course they cynically know that. Of course they cynically know the word socialist isn't the N-word. They just cold-bloodedly operate at that level. Comments on that, Chris?
Well, another group that seems kind of funny, that people that want all this, national health care, single-payer health care, it's also the same crowd that doesn't want you to have a gun. Like the people that want to steal from you through the government don't want you to have a weapon to be able to resist it,
Absolutely. You're absolutely right. I mean, look at it. The government can't even read the 1,300-page bill that Special Interest wrote, but the government's going to be able to run our health care. And then they lie and say that government control isn't in the bill. I mean, the government's lost all credibility because they've been caught lying so much. Thank you, Jerry. I'm going to give the number out for Jenny and Tessa and a few other callers for Chris in Overdrive. It's 888-201-2244, 888-201-2244. We're going to go to break here in a moment. Chris, come back 10, 15 minutes with you in Overdrive, and we'll go into rebroadcast. But this will be internet only at prisonplanet.tv for the video subscribers and for all the free streams at Infowars.com and the podcast. Great job, crew. We'll be back tomorrow live, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. But we're going to continue right now in Overdrive.
The New World Order beast is genetically modifying your food, mixing vegetables with animals, and now experimenting with viruses. Without a long-term food solution, you will have just two options: starve, or surrender. All canned food supplies will eventually run out. What then? Grow your own healthy food and feed your family forever. SurvivalistSeeds.com is now the nation's largest bulk heirloom seed company. And it's owned by a real patriot, Big John Lipscomb. You can now have an infinite amount of healthy vegetables like a watermelon, a bundle of carrots, or tomatoes for a little more than a penny each. SurvivalistSeeds.com. And now you can go into business with Big John at SurvivalistSeeds.com by becoming an affiliate. See his link at SurvivalistSeeds.com.
All right, we are in Overdrive. Do this maybe once a month or so. We have Chris. If you just joined us, Chris is the gentleman who you've seen all over national television, the white shirt, black tie. He's a black man. He's got the AR-15 strapped to his back outside an event where Obama was speaking with a dozen or so other people with firearms openly. Now, they can legally have them concealed, but see, under common law, it's illegal to conceal weapons, so they can give you a permit for concealed because that is illegal, hiding a weapon. So a permit is a right to do something. A license is a right to do something that's illegal. Open carry, you don't need a license except in a very few states that have unconstitutionally, and a few cities that have unconstitutionally overthrown that. Because if they start overthrowing the Second Amendment, all of it goes. That's why a lot of states haven't done that. It's just they create the illusion, the perception that guns are already illegal across the board. So going back to Chris. Chris, tell us, before we go to a few calls here, what is it like to see CNN, all these other channels, demonizing you, attacking you? I want to finish up with this Oberman clip as well. I mean, what is it like to see this happening?
It's just business as usual for them. I don't watch TV. I don't listen to the radio. I don't really expose myself to any mainstream media sources because I've seen this forever. I've seen this my whole life. I mean, if you turn on the TV and you don't see that they're just trying to propagandize you and condition you and tell you what your opinion should be, I mean, you're a fool. I could care less what they're saying about me.
What do you listen to? You say you were familiar with this show. You reached out to us. I mean, what's your? How long have you been listening to this show, or have you seen my films? How are you familiar with us?
I've seen a bunch of your films, and I have I listen to the show on my cell phone every once in a while if I'm out somewhere, and just to kill some time, I'll listen to the show through my cell phone with the number you can call. But mainly I listen to just independent. I look at independent news sources. IPS News is a good news source. I read a lot of blogs. I read LouRockwell.com. I read FreedomPhoenix.com.